Tuesday, September 25, and this is InfoHub. We begin with news from the 73rd United Nations General Assembly. Guyana renews its commitment to a peaceful and cohesive society at the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit at the UN headquarters, New York, attended by Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge. Tiffany Rodias has her first report for this evening.
Minister Carl Greenidge is among world leaders from the United Nations attending the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit, a high-level plenary meeting to mark the centennial of the freedom fighters' birth. On Monday, Minister Greenidge addressed the summit and called on leaders to resolve to make the world a better place. In his address, Minister Greenidge noted that Mandela is a stirring example that peace is more than the absence of war. It is premised on the security of people, nation, and building framework and institutions like the UN that unremittently pursue these realizations, Minister Greenidge added. The Foreign Affairs Minister also recommitted Guyana's effort towards world peace by endorsing the political declaration of the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit. Minister Greenidge is in New York for the 73rd United Nations General Assembly meeting and will address the Assembly on behalf of President David Granger on Friday. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rodias.
The National Multi-Sectoral Coordinating Committee continues to work to find ways and means to lend greater support to Venezuelan migrants in Guyana. The Immigration Department has informed that from April to September 2018, a total of 2,220 Venezuelans arrived into the country and have been documented through the special procedure identified for migrants. However, over the past 2 weeks, information recorded at the various ports of entry has shown a reduction in arrivals. At a meeting held on Monday, Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix discussed the need for a structure that will allow for greater synergies between the Ministry of Health and the Police and Immigration Department to make the process of registration, screening, and immunization more hassle-free. Meanwhile, international partners like the United Nations Children's Fund and International Organization for Migration, IOM, continue to support the government's efforts. The committee is scheduled to meet again on October 8. In local news, the Guyana Elections Commission is prepared for the holding of local government elections on November 12. This is according to Chief Executive Officer Keith Lowenfield. Alexis Rodney has details.
According to the GCOM CEO, the commission is prepared within the letter of the law. Lowenfield said that all the legal arrangements are in place.
If you ask me about the noises being made about funding, and whether we have enough funding, we're spending the money available to us. I'm sure there are arrangements should we not be able. We'll be shouting ourselves to the authorities that be. But as we stand 52 days prior, we're in very good stead as far as the conduct of these elections go. Notwithstanding money, noises but money, and its use before the court.
According to Lowenfield, some $1.6 million has been approved for the holding of the elections.
We're working within the confines of the approved budget for the conduct of these elections.
Lowenfield said stakeholders are becoming accustomed to elections being run within a specific period, and according to him, that is a positive sign. He said that the elections body will be ready whenever the stipulated statutory period comes around for the elections to be held. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Now for some updated news from the Civil Defense Commission. The latest report on the tropical depression Kirk is that it frizzled in the eastern Atlantic Ocean. Now a remnant of its former self is dissipating. The weather system is predicted to succumb to high winds shear that persists over the Caribbean Sea, getting dispersed before entering the Gulf of Mexico. The hurricane season ends on November 30.
Why when I drink a nice guy, I get smoking on? Hey barman, y'all don't sell cigarettes anymore?
The new tobacco law says we can't have cigarettes on public display and we can't advertise that we sell it.
Okay, give me a pack.
You can't do that in here, buddy. The law states that you can't smoke in an enclosed area. You have to go outside.
I think that's how they do it in foreign. So, the law finally comes again. I'm glad though.
Let's all work together to prevent cigarette smoking related illnesses.
Welcome back. Moving to news from the education sector. As the Ministry of Education and the Guyana Teachers Union look for a compromise to solve the ongoing wage dispute, U.S.-based Guyanese professor Dr. Leland Lucas has been appointed chair of the arbitration panel. The Ministry of Social Protection made the appointment today. Details in this report.
Minister of Social Protection Keith Scott described Dr. Lucas as above board. He opined he was the right person to settle the disagreement between the Ministry of Education and the Guyana Teachers Union.
Out of that, we have been able to choose somebody we know and feel will be acceptable to, not only to the two bodies, but also to all Guyana. That guy that we have chosen, Lucas, is above board.
According to his bio, Dr. Lucas is the Dean of the School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation at the University of Guyana. He is also an associate professor at Morgan State University, Maryland. He has authored and co-authored several national and international publications and has an active association with societies and academics across the world. His major research interests involve business, accounts, and finance. Minister Scott reminded that the law allows for the Ministry of Social Protection to appoint the chairman of the panel in the event the two sides cannot agree on the respective nominees.
Those acts of appointing the chairman is placed squarely after the breakdown between the two sides in the province of the Ministry of Social Protection. It's not a question of acceptance or rejection. This is what is a point. So we have gone ahead, act according to the law, and we have given the person who, in our opinion, happens to the best.
The ministry stepped in to name a chairman after the Education Ministry and the Teachers Union failed to accept each other's nomination. According to Minister Scott, the government wants only what is best for both teachers and students. He said there is no need for an industrial unrest at this time. Meanwhile, the GTU has asked for some time to do some background checks on Dr. Lucas. The teams will meet again tomorrow. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
And still in education, Region 3's Education Department is now housed in a new $77 million complex. Seneca Thorne was at the commissioning today.
The complex replaces the old education building gutted by fire back in 2009. This displaced many officers, destroyed documents, and threatened the full functionality of the Education Department. Project Officer, Ministry of Communities, Karen Rupchan, said that the new complex is a significant achievement for the Region 3's education sector.
This government will continue to support and build on the success of the education system in the Essequibo Islands West Demerara region. It is fitting that this dedication ceremony is done as we celebrate Education Month, and I must acknowledge and congratulate the region.
Regional Executive Officer Dennis Jaikran added that the government has delivered yet another promise to the people of the Essequibo Islands West Demerara region.
What we are experiencing here, these were promises made and fulfilled by this government. And therefore we have to be grateful. We have to be thankful.
The education building itself cost $43 million, the cold storage $70 million, the generator room along with generator installation and configuration $12 million, the driveway and open bond $5 million. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Rehabilitation works have started on several critical streets in Stevedore Housing Scheme, South Ruimveldt, Georgetown. Ronetta LaFleur gives us an update on how works are progressing.
Supervisor at the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Erwin Stevens, said the upgrades were necessary since the roads were almost impassable.
It was real bad. The potholes, them being Stevedore's, like if you come in, it's like it was a gutter. Like if it was a gutter in Stevedore, it was real bad. The state was real bad. So we tried our best, and for last week, as you could see, we do a big part of the work, starting from by the daycare, school out in front there, and we place some asphalt, prepare work that the dust wouldn't bug the children them there and blow into the school and so.
Work began last Monday, Stevens said.
We'll be putting on the road, it'll be a 2.5 inch asphalt on the road, and we'll be doing the back of Stevedore. And we'll be doing some next rehabilitation is digging out, putting in sand loom and crush and run and some asphalt there too.
Stevens pointed out that there are no major challenges with the execution of the work and residents are giving their full cooperation. The repairs are expected to be completed by the end of the month. Ronetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
And finally, more than 250 youths from across Guyana have been registered and are being oriented for the inaugural Youth Conference. This event will be held at the Arthur Chong Conference Center on Wednesday and Thursday.
Those selected to be a part of the forum from regions outside of Georgetown will be given the opportunity to visit historical sites and familiarize themselves with national exhibits based in the capital. On the evening of the 25th, there will be a state youth reception for participants. This will be followed by 2 days of formal engagement between state officials and the young people. Youth Director Melissa Carmichael Haynes.
We at the Department of Youth want to ensure that the activities that are planned benefit the young people, not just only in one aspect, but benefits them in a holistic way. And the tours and the reception, all that is a part of giving them exposure to different things, providing them an opportunity to network this evening. Now we're providing them an opportunity to see historic sites and to understand what the young people in Region 4 are exposed to.
Participants are representing various groups pushing for youth empowerment, involvement, development, and education.
Signing up for this conference, I saw an aspect that speaks to local government elections. So my expectation is that we can debate about different part of local government elections, getting people from all 10 administrative regions, and at least we can learn from each other.
Being here is not about learning, but interaction, having point of views, opinions, and constructive criticism. Being here is about molding the future. Being here is empowering ourselves to be better than yesterday.
Hinterland youths are optimistic about returning to their communities and launching youth organizations to encourage development and youth advocacy.
I hope to learn about youth development, how we can get involved, how we can keep a youth group going, because this is a very crucial aspect we, the people of Region 1, need to get involved in, because there's a lack of youth development and youth participation in our region.
I intend to share about these issues and learn from the other communities that would have established groups and learn about the ways in which they tackle problems like unemployment, school dropouts. And at the end of it, I'm hoping that I will be able to establish a youth group and that we will be empowering each other.
The 3-day youth conference is hosted by the Department of Youth under the theme Youth Perspective for Empowerment and Development for a Better Guyana. For Info Hub, Delicia Haynes.
Connect with us on WhatsApp, social media, and also our website at dpi.gov.gy. We leave you with the bridge and weather reports. Goodbye.